Hello, children. How are you? Hope you are fine. Today we are going to take the prose lesson, Unit 1, Two Gentlemen of Verona. The title Two Gentlemen of Verona. What do you understand by that? There are two gentlemen in the city called Verona. You'll be wondering who are those two gentlemen? So this story is being written by A.J. Cronin. Let me talk about the author first. A.J. Cronin is a Scottish novelist, dramatist, and a physician. At first, he was working as a medical practitioner in Wales and London. When he was recovering from an illness, he landed up writing his first novel, Hatter's Castle. He instantly became popular with this novel, so he decided to take up writing as a full-time career. The Spanish Gardener is one of his most notable works. This story, the title, Two Gentlemen of Verona, is that the same as that of Shakespeare's play. This story is set in Verona. Verona is known for its historical site, a city in Italy. The story was written after the World War II. Verona was heavily bombed. During this time, the people have to face many hardships. Life was miserable. In such difficult circumstances, there were two boys named Nicola and Jacopo who had to face hardship, difficulties at the very young age. Is that clear? So this story, Two Gentlemen of Verona, you find the two main characters, Nicola and Jacopo, are the main characters in the story. We see the story unfolding from the eyes of the narrator. So let me give you this brief summary of this lesson, Two Gentlemen of Verona. There are two sincere boys who are selfless, young boys who face hardship for the treatment of their sister, suffering from tuberculosis. Here you find a message that there is hope for humanity. Let me give you the story of this lesson, Two Gentlemen of Verona. The story begins with the narrator driving through the foothills of Alps along with his companion who was a driver. So he meets two boys. As I told you, Nicola and Jacopo. Nicola is the elder one whose nature is very serious and mature. And the younger brother is Jacopo, who is very lively and active. He is almost like a childish. So these two boys approached the narrator and they asked him to buy the strawberries. By looking at the shabby appearance, the driver refused it. Then they came to know that they were two boys were selling strawberries. The next morning, they again see the same boys doing the shoe shining job. On being asked, they said they were doing many things for their living. They also tell the narrator and his companion that they could work as guide, they could sell newspapers. By looking at this very small age, the narrator was really moved. The narrator then talks to them and asks them why they are working so hard. What was the reason behind it? The boys replied, they were working hard because of their own will. Later on, Jacopo then requests the narrator to drop them in a car to the village called Poleta. That is nearly 30 kilometers away. But Nicola does not like the fact that his brother is troubling the narrator. By looking at this very sincere appearance, the narrator gladly agrees to help the boys. So after dropping them, the boys enter the large red villa, which is actually a hospital. The narrator did not knew this. He was so curious. He wanted to know where the boys had gone. Then finally he comes to know through the nurse that they have met the sister Lucia, who was suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. So she narrates the whole story. She tells him that the bomb has destroyed their home during the war. The three children left to starve. Family was destroyed, so the boys had to face and struggle hardship. And so Lucia got afflicted with the tuberculosis, and the boys had to admit her to the hospital to meet her needs. So they have been trying their best to make the payments regularly to the hospital. So by looking at this and by hearing the story, he was really touched. The narrator was really touched. He felt that such humble youth could give our society hope for the better tomorrow. In such times of war, weapons and hatred, still there is hope for humanity. So this is the story, children. What have you understood? Suppose we don't have home, we don't have family. Suppose we were in the street, what would have happened? Our life would have been miserable, isn't it? So yet, these boys did not give up the hope in order to meet the sisters' treatment. And they did not want anyone's sympathy. So they worked on their own, they faced hardship and difficulties, and that shows society gives us hope for the better tomorrow. Have you understood? So after understanding the story, there are few questions for you to write. I want you to do this exercise 3 times. Write all the short answers 3 times, learn it, and do the test. Is it clear? See you, children.